So this is a mega story out of the NBA, and it's a big deal. We should take this one serious because we've seen this before. Multiple reports are claiming that the Golden State Warriors, their big three, and Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, have given the okay to that Warriors management to go out and use some of their assets that they've acquired over the last couple of years, mostly in part because Klay Thompson's been hurt. They've acquired these assets, and they're now okay to be traded, right? Obviously, the Warriors organization can do whatever they want, but what we've seen over in Golden State the last few years is it's a family. It starts with that nucleus. And apparently, there have been multiple conversations of potentially using the 7th pick. The Warriors got the 14th pick. And you might as well say the number 2 pick, but it's from last year's draft, and James Wiseman. And these pieces, and I'm assuming maybe Wiggins is on the table as well, can all be packaged up for Bradley Beal or Damian Lillard. That's where we're at with it right now. The Warriors have okayed the moving of these pieces, these assets, like, these young guys are probably going to be phenomenal players, but by the time they're ready to win, we be out of our prime. We don't want to play that game. We think we got another window to get maybe 1-2 more championships out of this bad boy, maybe 3 more finals appearances. Let's go for it. And we want to maximize that with bringing in another all-star caliber guy, already made guy right now. And the reports get deeper. The Warriors don't believe Damian Lillard is realistic, either from a standpoint of Dame not wanting to be a part of Golden State just because the competitor in him won't allow him to join a team that swept him in the playoffs a couple years ago, or it's the fact that they just don't believe the Blazers are going to move off of Dame and trade him to them, of all teams. So the more realistic option out there in Golden State land is they believe they can squeeze Bradley Beal out of Washington. And if you're the Wizards, you have to be real and consider it. Washington's a team that with Russ and Bradley Beal for the most part healthy, the best they were able to do is lose to Philly. And by the way, Philly in that next round looked like a team that had no business being on the court with Atlanta at times. I know it went 7. I'm just saying there was times where Philly was like, how did y'all get out of the first round? So if you're Washington and you couldn't get past Philly, you look up today and say, we are bottom of the barrel of the Eastern Conference. What do? Do we keep a guy like Bradley Beal, who, as great of a scorer he is and finished number 2 for the season in scoring, do we look at him and say, this is a guy that wants to be here? Or do we look at him as a guy that's showing us on the court, body language isn't great all the time, and clear as day doesn't believe that this team could get over the hump? Like, what do we think about Bradley Beal today? And you're not going to get too many more packages than what the Warriors got with just one team. They have, unless it's the Thunder, the Warriors package 7, 14, potentially Wiggins, James Wiseman. That's a hell of a package. You talk about a rebuild, like that's a hell of a package. And again, where do you go from there if you're Washington? I don't know. Do you keep Westbrook around? Do you trade him as well? If you trade Westbrook, you maybe can even squeeze maybe another first-round pick. I don't know. But if you're looking to rebuild, and if it's about cutting costs because your team is bad anyway, maybe it's time to pull the trigger. And I think that's what Golden State thinks that they have on their side right now. They believe Bradley Beal is a realistic option. Now, obviously, we're talking about a guy that can shoot the rock like Beal can. At his size, you clearly know you'll be moving Klay to the 3, which I'm assuming he's comfortable with playing, which would mean you have to guard guys like LeBron or Durant. That's a big ask of Klay because he'd be undersized in a lot of those matchups. But it looks like he's all for it as he gets ready to make his return to the NBA at some point next season. And then you add yourself a little bit of protection. So even if Klay isn't 100% himself or maybe never able to get back, I don't know. You're coming off a torn ACL and a torn Achilles. I don't know. But even if you're not able to get Klay back to 100%, you would think Steph, Bradley Beal, and Draymond's ability to put these guys in positions to win, you'd think with a suitable big man, just a guy that could defend, like a Willie Cauley-Stein caliber guy, you'd think the Warriors would be right back in the thick of things out west. So that is the news coming out of Golden State. That is big news. Warriors, because remember the last time they gave one of these cosigns, they ended up with Kevin Durant and they won back-to-back NBA champions. Remember the last time they was like, look, we ain't doing this against LeBron without more help. And they went and added some reinforcements in KD and it paid dividends. So we'll see. Again, there's another cosign, this time Bradley Beal. They would love to have Dame, But Dame doesn't seem as realistic as maybe fleecing Bradley Beal away from the Wizards. So we shall see. That's a big story, one that you want to follow this offseason.